It's your girl, Mrs. Tony Two Times, and I'm back with another episode of Hood Tales. In this video, I'll be taking it to Gary, Indiana, to discuss the disturbing case of a mother who lost her life at the hands of her teenage daughter. But before we get into this video, I'd like to say thank you to all of our supporters. We appreciate you and we hope you all stick around. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, you can find the information on the screen. And to support us for absolutely no cost, please hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and join the Tony Two Times family. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Also, if you'd like to see more episodes of Hood Tales, please click the link to the playlist in the description box after this video to get caught up. And be sure to share this video with everyone you know. Stay tuned until the end to hear all the details. All right, let's get into it. We have all heard the saying that parenting doesn't come with a handbook. As parents, we all do the best we can with what we have. And if you have more than one child, we know every child is different. There are different seasons in the journey of parenthood, and the most challenging is the adolescent years. Rebellion can set in and they defy the rules and ignore expectations. It can be a difficult time for both child and parent. Whatever ups and downs 34-year-old Jamie Garnett and her 15-year-old daughter Chastanae Reeves were facing caused their once close bond to take a tragic turn. On Monday, February 13th, 2017, an Amber Alert was issued for 15-year-old Chastanae Reeves after police in Gary, Indiana believed that she was taken from a family member's home at around 2 a.m. in the area of 2027 Main Street. According to the family member, who identified herself as an aunt, Chastanae and her 4-year-old sister showed up to her home at 2 o'clock in the morning looking for help. Chastanae was hysterical, claiming that someone came into their apartment and did something to their mother. When Chastanae's aunt stepped out to call the police and their mother's neighbor, Chastanae ran out the back door. By the time police arrived at the aunt's house, Chastanae was nowhere to be found. Just 10 minutes after Chastanae had disappeared, police went over to the apartment in the 4400 block of West 23rd Place where she lived with her mother and little sister. There, they found a gruesome scene in the upstairs bedroom. 34-year-old Jamie Garnett had been brutally cut up and slashed on multiple parts of her body. It was clear police were dealing with a homicide. Because of these circumstances, police believed that Chastanae could be in extreme danger, and locating her was law enforcement's top priority. A neighbor of Jamie couldn't fathom who would want to hurt her, and now her daughter was missing. The neighbor always saw Jamie with her 2 daughters, taking them to school, coming home from work, and being a devoted mother. 24 hours went by, and Chastanae was still nowhere to be found. Family members pleaded for her to return home. Some feared that whoever had slain Jamie doubled back and abducted Chastanae. A theory was maybe Chastanae ran back to the apartment to help her mother and was taken against her will. But there was something more sinister to Chastanae's sudden disappearance. At around 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday, February 14th, 2017, Chastanae was found walking alone near 21st Avenue and Carolina Street in Gary. The Amber Alert was canceled and the public was notified that Chastanae had been found safe. Police had not released any additional information at the time. Then a few days later, police announced that Chastanae was in fact being charged with her mother's murder. Chastanaye was no longer considered a victim, but now the accused. Court records later revealed that Chastanaye admitted to cutting up her mother more than 60 times. Chastanaye allegedly crawled into her mother's bed and began cutting her. She then dropped off her 4-year-old sister at the aunt's house and fled. She met up with 2 other teenage boys. One was her boyfriend. The 2 other teens quickly became persons of interest. They were identified as 16-year-old Matthew Martin and 16-year-old Virgil King. He was Chastanaye's boyfriend at the time. Investigators learned that after Jamie's slaying, Chastanaye had communicated with Virgil on social media through a friend's account. Both Virgil and Matthew admitted that they visited Chastanaye the night her mother was slain. When police spoke with Matthew, he told police that after the slaying, he and Virgil met Chastanaye at the Oak Knolls apartments. Chastanaye allegedly handed Virgil the key to her mother's 2001 Ford Escape, and all 3 of the teens drove off in the car. Matthew said he noticed blood on Chastanaye's clothing. As they walked down 21st Avenue, Chastanaye took a bloody broken knife out of her purse and told the boys, "I broke the tip of that bleep." Chastanaye smirked as she said it and later laughed as she showed the boys a photo of a woman who was slumped over and appeared to no longer be alive. Matthew told police he kicked down a door to an abandoned building in the 2000 block of Delaware Street and tossed the knife inside. Police later recovered the knife. Records state Chastanaye then changed out of the bloody clothes. Her boyfriend Virgil poured bleach on them, attempted to light them on fire, and eventually threw them down a chute in an abandoned building in the 2300 block of Adams Street. Records allege that after Chastanaye showed the photo of the woman, Virgil removed the SIM card from Chastanaye's phone and destroyed it. Both Matthew and Virgil were subsequently charged with helping Chastanaye hide and destroy evidence. Prior to all of this, Chastanaye was a 9th grader at Lighthouse Preparatory Academy, a charter school. She had pretty good grades and had minor disciplinary actions at school. While being held in juvenile detention, Chastanaye said she smoked Mary Jane and would occasionally argue with her mother, but for the most part, they got along well. Chastanaye was evaluated by a doctor, and they concluded that she suffered from depression with psychotic features. The doctor told the court that Chastanaye said she heard voices and saw hallucinations before going to bed. Chastanaye would continue to receive treatment. But despite these findings, the prosecution still sought for her to be tried as an adult because the state said she posed a threat to the community. In July 2018, Chastanaye's case was moved from juvenile to adult court. Matthew and Virgil cases were also moved to adult court. Matthew pleaded guilty in December 2018 and agreed to testify against Chastanaye if she was to go to trial. He would receive his sentence after that. Virgil pleaded not guilty. DNA was taken from Chastanaye and tested against the knife. The results came back as a match to Chastanaye and a match to her mother, Jamie. A perfect fingerprint belonging to Chastanaye was found on the knife. After multiple court dates and several motions filed, Chastanaye would end up taking a plea deal in May 2019. The evidence against her in the case was overwhelming. At sentencing in June 2019, when the judge asked Chastanaye To explain why she took her mother's life, she told the court she didn't want to talk about it. The judge didn't accept that response, especially since the judge felt like Chastonnet had not been remorseful in any other of her previous court hearings. The judge told Chastonnet she didn't have to accept the plea deal and she could send her to trial where she could face up to 65 years in prison. The judge said she wasn't impressed by her age because she knew better than what she did. Chastonnet then responded and said that she missed her mother and that if she could go back, she wouldn't have done it, as she burst out into tears. Chastonnet ended up receiving a 45-year sentence. She will be in her 50s when she is released. Matthew Martin was sentenced the following month to time served. He was locked up for 630 days while awaiting trial. Matthew obtained his GED while in jail and said he was going to move out of the area once he was released to better his life. He said he was a child at the time when he took a charge and got caught up helping a friend. In 2020, Virgil King also accepted a plea deal and admitted to his role in helping his then-girlfriend, Chastonnet, in Jamie Garnett's slaying. He received 2 years of probation. Chastonnet never gave a reason as to why she took her mother's life. May Jamie Garnett continue to rest in peace. My belated condolences to her family and loved ones. I send them my well wishes. I can't begin to imagine how Jamie felt as she had to endure the physical and emotional pain in her last moments at the hands of her own daughter. Only Chastonnet knows why she so brutally took her mother's life. You know, usually there's some sort of reasoning or backstory to such heinous crimes, but in court, Chastonnet said she didn't want to talk about it. And the way she talked about it to the 2 boys was disturbing, showing them the broken knife and a photo and laughing about it. Was this just an act of pure evil? What do you think, fam? Do you think there's more to it? What are your thoughts and opinions? Let me know in the comments below. Alright fam, that's it for this episode of Hood Tales. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times. Until next time.